Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Pat says it's time to start. We have enough people. I'll call the meeting to order. We'll have the Pledge of Allegiance by Kurt Kaczarek.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Here.
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 Here. Here.
Here.
Has anybody signed up to speak? Nobody signed up to speak? We have a presentation and approval for the minutes for approval. Is there a motion to approve them? Mr. Heyman moves. Mr. Dahl seconds. Is there discussion on this motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next, we have the presentation and approval of the bills. Would somebody like to move that? Barbara Winnick. Deborah Allen seconds. Is there discussion on the bills? Saying no discussion? This is our favorite time. Pat likes to do roll call.
Yes.
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 Motion passes. They're approved. Under business, we have Forrest Preserve Resolution 2439, adopting the 2015 Comprehensive Master Plan. And Monica will give us a brief view of this plan.
Right, I'll just give you a quick summary. We talked about this at Executive Committee at the last meeting last week. We did have a wonderful retreat on December 7th at the Barber Belding Lodge at Brewster Creek Forest Preserve. The majority of our commissioners attended, and I think it was a very productive and worthwhile day. Going into the day, we had several goals to accomplish. We went over the previous master plan and had a wrap-up. We explained how we went through the process of creating this new master plan. We provided a financial update, and within the proposed plan, we provided the objectives and action items that had come out, and we obtained direction from the Commission for the final approval of the master plan moving forward. As we were going through the process of developing the master plan, some of the community input that we gathered through a survey as well as public meetings. If you recall the public meetings we had, we divided the county into 6 areas, and we took in our plans for those areas within each of the preserves to gather input and feedback in terms of improvements in each of the preserves. And out of that process, 4 key principles really arose. It was to acquire, protect, and preserve natural areas, strengthen community connections, manage growth, and plan for sustainability. And then through those key principles, several objectives then began to appear. The first 7 came out as part of the plan process, which was improve biodiversity across district lands, evaluate and implement operations and maintenance efficiencies, establish a capital maintenance management plan, improve preserve access, strengthen public relations and community outreach, expand the volunteer program, and evaluate service levels and determine resource needs for each and every department. Now, those were presented at the retreat. We broke the team out into 4 tables, and each table took 2 of the objectives. Each of the objectives then has action items within them, and they're noted in the plan for those that brought those on page 144. And you would note that each of the action items has a description, a deadline, the department who's going to lead the project. And then we had another table which pretty much was made up by the members of the Finance Committee. And we talked about additional sources of revenue. We talked about ways in which to provide additional sources of revenue, partnerships, and things like that. And what came out of that was an 8th objective to create a foundation. And so after the retreat, we took the information back and finalized any changes that came out from each of the tables, as well as added that additional objective of creating a foundation. Now, the other activity that we did for the day was we went through our capital finances and the focuses that we felt were important for that money. And the two things that came out that were already planned for were the capital maintenance projects, which is this category on the screen. That really is taking care of our existing infrastructure, whether it's making sure we're up to date on our ADA compliance or it's maintaining and replacing our existing infrastructure. The second item that came out was our natural resources projects. Obviously, the other part of our agency is to manage our open spaces and high-quality natural areas. And the things that were already on the radar, we went ahead and planned for and put those in the plan. Our second and final activity for the day was to look at our new maintenance or capital initiative items that had not been budgeted or planned for yet. We needed to prioritize those because obviously we have a limited amount of funding. So our activity was we gave each of the commissioners in attendance 5 stickies. We had these on the wall and they went up and told us what the priorities were. This is the outcome. So these are your top 11 projects that have been incorporated into the plan that we will work on the next several years. You'll note that half of them are trail connections or connectivity from preserve to open space. And the other half pretty much are improvements to existing infrastructure or expansion of existing preserves. We do have one new project that is looking at the Settlers Hill Golf Course youth holes and building to continue to promote youth growth over at that facility. So where we are today is we have our objectives and action items for the next several years. We've not put an end date on this as that helps us as we go for grants, so it doesn't have an end date to it. A little different, what we're going to start doing with this is we're going to come through with an update annually. Instead of looking at this as a 5-year project, we're going to look at this as an annual project to provide updates and to see how things change. It's a fluid document. Funding comes, funding goes, priorities change, and we want to be able to meet the needs as they change. So we're presenting today the 2015 master plan for your approval.
Mr. Lewis moves it, Mr. Davis seconds it. Would you like to talk about the master plan? Barbara?
I just want to thank all the staff members that scheduled and created the workshop. It was a great idea. It was, we did a lot of work in only half a day, and I think we came to many good ideas and resolutions, and I would just thank you. It was a really good plan.
Anybody else ready to vote? This has got to be a roll call. Okay.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Motion's approved. Thank you, and moving on. I don't think there's any need for an executive session. And under President's comments, I'll say the 27th through the 29th is the annual conference of the Illinois Parks and Recreation in Chicago at the Hyatt. Some of us went last year, didn't we, John? It was last year John received an award. They really surprised him. He wasn't speechless, though. No, it was a fun time, but if anybody else would like to go, just talk to Monica, and some of us are going to go.
Is John going to get another award?
No, not yet.
No reason to go then.
I wouldn't tell you if he was, because we'd sneak him in there.
It's a secret, actually.
John?
This year,
I'm moderating a couple of the sessions. I would encourage the board members to get the catalog and take a look, because there's probably 60 to 70 classes or workshops you can go to that are on topics that you may have an interest on. Very educational. Our staff attends, they get education through it, but also as board members, there's a lot of learning we can do, and some long-term planning comes from these sessions. So if anyone has an interest, contact Monica. We can get a copy of the program to you.
Phil?
In our long-range plan, which we just approved, part of that plan is to establish a foundation for the Forest Preserve.
Right.
As you speak about the different sessions, would there happen to be one?
Yeah, there was last year.
There was last year.
Last year.
Okay.
There
Is
may
there,
be
there
one
will
this
be.
year, yeah. So,
something like that would be very, appropriate for us to attend.
Lori and I actually have been to a couple of them at this conference and have already brought back information from recent years. Last year, the year before, I think you and I both went to one.
Good. Date and time on that, 29th?
27th through the 29th, I believe. This is a well-run conference, the end of this month.
Town?
It'll be, yes,
Yep.
at the Hyatt by the lakefront, by the river's area.
it's always about 8 below wind chill as you're walking to your car.
That's why we stay
Walking
inside.
uphill on ice.
Sure.
So right now, President Kenyon and Commissioners Auger and Gillum are going with us.
But you can go in and go to 1 or 2 meetings and then go home if you want, or whatever you want to do. That's why John suggested you look at the catalog and pick what you want to listen to. Maybe we should be there to check up on John. So what are you doing?
There's 2 sessions. I've got a board meeting Wednesday night, and I'm coming back, but there are 2 sessions Friday morning about legal issues involving forest preserves and park districts. And so I'm attending both of those, and I'm the moderator. Those are actually for any lawyers on the board. You can get continuing education for those, too.
Oh,
That's what I signed up.
very good. The next thing we have is department report. No, there we have, that's the department reports. Would somebody like to move them? Maggie, second by Joe Hayman. Discussion on the reports. Move to submit the reports. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Welcome. There's nothing else to come before the board. Mr. Hayman?
Motion adjourned?
Hayman moves. Smith seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.